everybody, it's Kelly from Coffee and My Pen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be planning out this spread in my Makselife Digital Weekly Planner. So I'm going to be starting out by making a few stickers for myself now. I've downloaded a few images from Creative Fabrica. I want to do a garden theme since that's what I'm working on so heavily this week. So I have just imported a few of these images and I'm going to get a few of them on the page. I'm just roughly sizing them to fit in these boxes in this horizontal weekly spread. And now I'm going to use the shape tool and give it a background so that it looks a little bit more like a sticker. So I'm using the eyedropper tool, the color picker tool, to choose a few colors out of the image itself. And I ended up going with a color from a different image so it would have a little bit of contrast. So I'm just going to place that there and I'm going to hit arrange and send it to back to make it the background. And then we'll just move things around and resize them to make them fit well. I'm thinking the blue of this background is just a little bit too dark, so I'm going to choose a lighter shade of blue off of that watering can and just lighten it up a little bit. I like that a lot better. So I'm going to select both of these and hit group, and that way I can move it around the page as a single unit, and now I have made a sticker. So what other kind of stickers can I make today? Let's see. I like this greenhouse. So I'm going to take that greenhouse, pop it on the page, and now I'm just duplicating the sticker I already made so that I can make sure that I make it the same size. So I'm going to ungroup that and get rid of the tomatoes. And now I want to change the color of the background, and I'm picking a red off of the tomato sticker for this. So we'll just move my greenhouse, arrange and move it to the front, and resize it until it fits in there nicely. This red is a little bit dark, so I'm going to go in with the color picker and just sort of lighten that up until that looks good to me. I'm just going to duplicate that background again so I can make a third sticker. And this time I think I'm going to go with this sack of garden soil. Just placing that and resizing it. And I don't want two red stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and change the background of this from a red. I'm going to choose a brown out of that image itself and just let her play with the color until I get something that I like. It's nice and earthy. I like that. So I'm going to group that together. And now I have three stickers that will fit into the boxes of this Makselife Horizontal Weekly Planner. I also have left this watering can there. I thought about putting it on a background, but I think I just want to use it for deco. So I'm just going to move these around a bit and just sort of place them where I think I might want them, but I will most likely be moving them around during the rest of the spread. So I'm just going to grab just a little bit more deco. I think I like these carrots here, so I'm going to choose those and get those on the page. And I'm going to switch over to my washi collection. This is washi I got a while ago, but coincidentally it matches the spread very well. So I'm going to use that for my header. So I'm going to just resize it. I really like those torn edges. I'm going to resize that and place that just along the top here. And then I just duplicate it to move it over to the other side. It's just super simple way to get a little header on the page. And I'm going to choose another color washi for the bottom here. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to resize and duplicate to get it to the other side of the screen, to the other page. I'm really liking this washi, so I think I'm going to take a few pieces of this washi and make into event labels for the things that I have going on this week. So I'm going to take that green washi there, and I'm just going to use the text tool to label that payday. And I'm just doing a little bit of color changing and resizing to make that fit nicely on the label and get it to a bit of a gray color so it's not so harsh. I'm going to group that together and then resize it to make a cute little payday label that will fit into that square. So that looks good to me. So I'm going to grab another piece of washi to put a new label on. And this one is going to be a department lunch that I have at work. I just want to get this in my personal planner so I remember that I don't need to have lunch plans for that day. And I just decided I'm going to move that payday over to the right a little bit to make the watering can fit a little bit better. Now, coming back to department lunch, I'm going to group those together and resize. And I think I'm going to put this one at the top of the day. There's really no rhyme or reason to where I'm putting them, but I just don't want it to be too cluttered on the right column there. And now I'm just moving the stickers around so I don't have a lot of red all clumped together. Just going to move those. And I think I don't want the habit tracker this week. I want to track my dailies differently. So I am going to attempt to extend this notes section so that I have notes all across the bottom there. So I'm going to take a white pen and use it like whiteout and get rid of this habit tracker. Just get that all covered up. See me kind of drawing through the circles here. And I think I need maybe a bigger pen. So let me just make that a little bit bigger to make this go faster. I'll go ahead and white out these lines too. So now I'm grabbing the lasso tool and I'm going to take a screenshot this time. And when you take a screenshot, you can hit that button at the top and choose copy and paste it back on the screen. So now I have a pasted version of those lines on the page. They don't exactly line up, so I'm just kind of resizing them just a little bit. Just need them to match exactly the other side. Now, another way I could have done this is to just white out all the lines and go across, but I'm going to crop it just to get rid of that white edge so I can put them together. And look at that. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty perfect when I have it zoomed out. So I am happy with it. I've decided to add in just a little bit more deco, and I am using some of these floral fence graphics that if you watched my spread from last week, I used pretty heavily. They're so pretty and they fit with this garden theme very well. So I'm going to use that again. Going to duplicate this one and just sort of line it up to go across the bottom there. I'm just grabbing another piece of washi to make an on-call label. I am on call, finishing up an on-call rotation that will end Tuesday morning, so I do need to make a sticker for Monday. So I'm going to do that. I was really struggling with that sticker, y'all, so I sped that little piece up. Now I'm just adding some deco to it and resizing a little bit. We'll group it all together, and now I can move it around and decide where I want to place it. Now I don't want two red labels next to each other, so I just replaced that department lunch red washi with the blue washi. And now I'm going to move some things around a bit because now I have this blue background close to that blue washi. So just a little bit of rearranging of things. Now I want to draw the vertical line down the next to the date. I do this a lot, especially when I am using the horizontal paper planner, but I like to do it in the digital too. And so using that pen tool, if you ever need to make a straight line, you can just draw your line and then hold the pen for a second and it will straighten up for you. And now I'm just duplicating it and moving it over to the other side. And I'm just using the arrange tool to move it to the back so the top and bottom are behind the washi. And that gives me another column to work with. So I'm just using my pencil to write in some of the things that I have going on this week. So I've got a couple of classes at the gym that I need to get to on Tuesday and Thursday, and I have a massage scheduled for Wednesday. And then I have a few other things going on this week. On Friday, I do not have those appointments on Friday. That's the following Friday. So I was supposed to do TSA pre-check last Friday, a couple days ago, but we had some very bad weather, and I did not want to travel the 2 hours that I needed to do that. So I'm going to do it this Friday instead. And then I have a appointment for a facial. So now I'm going to use this column here to sort of make my habit tracker. I think I prefer them to be on each day, and that's typically how I've normally handled this. So this section is basically health and wellness related. So I want to put in the things that I want to focus on each day on this column. So taking my meds, no added sugar was one of my goals for the month. Drinking enough water and making sure that I get some kind of movement in every day. So now I'm just going to use the on-screen keyboard and just make a couple of adjustments to this that didn't turn out how I wanted to using the Apple Pencil. So I'm just using the highlighter tool to make kind of check boxes. And I'm using the duplicate and I'm using the lines on the screen to align them. And now I'm going to group them and then group everything all together so that I can just keep duplicating it and putting it on each day of the week. So I will track my habits this way on a daily basis on each day instead of using a habit tracker near the bottom. So I need to make this piece of deco a little smaller. Nice. So here I have finished writing in some of the things I need to do this week, and I'm just using the highlighter now to put in check boxes for all these things. Now I'm just going to grab a little bit more deco. I liked this trellis with these flowers, and I like that nice straight edge it has on it. So I'm just going to get that placed and move some things around a little bit. And I'm looking at the handwriting that I put in, and I'm not crazy about it. So I am going to go ahead and type that out and get that all put in everywhere. So overall, it is an extremely light week for me again this week, and I am happy about that. I am still recovering from this respiratory thing that I had. So I'm going to take it easy this week because next week is not going to be a light week for me at all. So, and here is the final result. Thank you so much for sticking with me today. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.